on your lab sheet, you have to do the long electron configurations that we just practiced. You have to do it for some of the longer ones down here. So I want to walk through just one of them that's kind of way down here at the bottom. So we're going to do OS. So OS is number 76. So we're going to go through all of its long electron configuration so that you can see how to write one that goes all the way down to the bottom. If you can do OS, this is pretty much as hard as it gets, okay? So I picked a pretty hard one so that we can walk through this guy. All right, so 76 electrons that we're about to write where he goes. So where do we start? We always start up here with number 1. So he's in the n equals 1, he's in the S block. We do both of these, so 1s2. Now we're here, we're on the 3rd electron. He's in the 2nd block, 2, he's in the S, so 2s. And we'll do both of those, so 2s, 2. Now we're over here with 5, okay? So 2 all the way over, and it's a 2p, and we know we have to get all the way down here, so we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so 2p6. All right, back over here. Number 3, we're in the S block, so 3s, and then we'll do both of those, 3s2. Now we're over here, so this should match our aluminum that we wrote earlier. So we're in the 3p, but I don't want aluminum, I want to go all the way to OS. So 3p, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3p6. All right, next. So now I've done 3p6, so now I'm over here. I'm in the 4, this is 4s, so 4s, 1, 2. And if you start to run out of room, you can just drop down and keep going like that. So 4s2. Now we're here. So let's look at what block this is. We said this was the S, that was the P. This whole guy is my D block. Now remember, the D block was special. For the S block, the N number, the N, which is the number that goes in front, matches the row. For the P block, the N matches the row. But for the D block, the number is N, the N is the row minus 1. Okay? So here I'm at 21 because I've already done my 4s2, so now I'm here. So I'm in row 4, but my N is going to be a 3. So this guy isn't a 4D, it's a 3D. So 3D. So he's a 3D, and then we say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Because remember, the d orbital has 5 orientations, so that means that it has 5 suborbitals. Every orbital can have 2 electrons. 5 times 2 gives you 10. So I have 10 of these 3Ds. So now I'm back here. Now that I'm in the P block, it's just my row number. So this is row 4, so my N is equal to 4. So this would be 4P, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I do all of them because I got to get all the way down in here. So 4P6. Back over here. So now I'm on the 37th electron. If you ever lose count, just count up the number of electrons you have up there and know that you're on the next one. So now I'm on 37, so I've got 5, because it's an S block, 5s, 1 and 2. So 5s2. Now I'm in the D block, so it's N minus 1, my row minus 1, so that's 4. And that's going to be 4D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 4D10. All right, now we do the next one. Now I'm here. So now I'm back in my N equals 5. So this is 5P, 5P, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5P6. All right. Now we're going to come down to here. Oh, we're getting closer. Okay, so 6s, so 6s, 1 and 2. Now I get here, number 57, so it's my row minus 1, so this is a 5D, so he's going to be a 5D, but if you notice, it goes from 57 to 72. So remember, my F block is going to be right in here. Okay, so my F block sneaks in right here. And so I don't just say that I go straight from my 5D and then just keep doing all the Ds. You have to remember that you've got those F electrons there first. Okay? So you could, some people like to do this, they'll go and say, okay, let me do this 1D electron and then go to my F. You can do that. So if you want, you could say this is a 5D1. And then just kind of notate that you're going to come back to that, okay? So we did the 5D1. Now we go to our F block, because this is 57, now we go to 58. So remember, this whole section was my F block. And remember, for F, n is equal to the row minus 2. So n is equal to the row minus 2. All right, so we are at here. And so this guy goes right here. So if it's row 6, so this is kind of like in the number 6. So if it's 6 minus 2, then this is the 4F. So he's a 4F. So then we write 4F. And we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Remember, F has 7 orientations, 7 MLs, and so every orientation, every orbital can have 2 electrons. 7 times 2 is 14. So we have 14 possible F electrons. So 14. So now we did 58, 59, all the way to 71. So then after 71, we get to 72. So we go, oh, I'm back in that D, and this is, remember, n minus 1, so it's 6, row 6, minus 1, so now I'm back in the 5. So I write 5D, and then I count 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, remember we had 2 of these Ds. Let me just erase this so you can see better. Okay, so we had this D and we had this D. So really I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the 5D electrons. We don't want to leave it separated like this. So what we would do is we would move this guy, and then we would put him over here. So it's whatever makes it easier for you to remember, or however, but that's how it would look. And then we can add it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6 is 10, 12, 18, 19, 20, 30, 36, 37, 38, 48, where am I? 48, 54, 55, 56, and then 56 goes to 60, no, sorry, 70, and then 76. There we go. Simple math in our heads. Try to wake up, right? So now we checked it, we have 76. So that's how you would write the whole long one for a lower element. So if you can go through this one, this is as hard as it gets because we had to do our n-1s for our Ds and our n-2s for our Fs. And we had the little funky thing going on with our periodic table here. All right? So that is practice for a long one. Your next video, we'll move on and we'll start talking about the rest of the stuff for lab.